Career Path offers programming for justice-involved youth who are at risk of or involved in gang activity. It provides education, training, and employment opportunities by connecting youth with an employer who also acts as a mentor in building leadership and employability skills.
What we do different at Career Path is the door's never shut. The door is always open. What the kids give back to the community is so much bigger than what we all put into it.
Career Path is basically an employment program for young people who are somewhat gang involved. They're referred to us by only youth justice professionals. We felt that one of the main ways that we could pull them out of the justice system, which was our first objective, would be to give them a serious job, real work in the community with money attached. In our dealings with probation, we knew that there were a lot of kids who were in over their heads, and they were actually talking about how to stop and how to get out. They had no life anymore. That was their life. So we knew that in order to replace that gang life, we had to offer them a whole new gig.
Day to day is different every day. We work on resumes, do job search. We want to find jobs that the youth are interested in working at, so they have some buy-in. And then we meet with the employers and recruit them and have them sign on and have them become mentors to the youth. It usually turns into a full-time employment afterwards.
Thanks for bringing your stuff. That looks good.
The young people are telling us themselves that it has benefited them and that it's been effective. And they have indicated to 85% that they found it to be very helpful and they're happy in their workplace. The challenges are mainly with the young people and their families. They live in chaos. A lot of them are in poverty. If you have nowhere to sleep and you have no money to make lunch, going to work kind of falls down the ladder of the hierarchy of needs. So we have to do a lot of work to get that stuff in place before they can get on this program. If you wanted to start a program, for one thing, it can start in any community because every community has work, no matter how small. Start by finding employers and then go and get referrals for the young people. You can never stop supporting and supervising. That has to happen constantly. Otherwise, trouble starts and you have to mediate those workplace problems. This kind of a program will really help kids disengage from their other life and move them into the real world. And also that there are an amazing number of steadfast employers who are willing to take kids on. We know that it's working.
The Reintegration Demonstration Project provides long-term follow-up and support to youth leaving the Waypoint or Daughters and Sisters residential addiction treatment centers.
The Reintegration Demonstration Project was something that we developed to follow up our young people leaving the addictions treatment programs. These are kids who have been in and out of the criminal justice system most of their lives. Prior to treatment with us, they hadn't been sober probably for 5 years. The addictions treatment programs are contained, and our worry has always been what happens when they go home. We are looking for better outcomes, and we think that if we follow them home and put some stuff in place for them and work with their families more, that we would have better outcomes for sure.
Our program is innovative because we're able to connect with the youth at any point during their treatment. So if they have successfully completed the treatment program, we can start working with them at that point. But if, in the case if they leave treatment early for whatever reason, we are still able to offer them that support.
We're lucky to be able to stretch the biggest net out there for these kids. They go back to their life, their friends, their family, and they fall on their face. So we wanted to be there with our safety net so that they wouldn't stay down.
I think the reintegration program works because of our ability to build rapport with the youth. It's very sad how many of them are lacking services and connections to their community.
Today I'm taking a youth that I work with to court, and I'm going to wait with him for his court appearance. I'm going to help him go over all the legal papers, anything he has to sign, anything that he might not understand, just make sure he knows what's going on. So it's a pretty scary process for a young kid to go through.
One of the hardest things we've had to do is to try and get the families to come in and help us with that reintegration for their own children, and that's been one of our biggest struggles. The other thing is to always be available. If it's a year after they've left treatment and they're phoning us, then it is. I would advise to make it attractive to the young people to want to do it. If you have strong relationships with them, it's not a disguise who you are anymore. They know who we are, that we're not the authority figure, and really our entire job is to support and help them. We have learned that there are more barriers for kids returning home than we ever thought there would be. We have to start earlier while they're in treatment. We have to double the effort to try and engage the families before the kids get on the reintegration program. Because no matter how awful the family is that you came from, kids will always go back there. We find that that's kind of the key to a successful reentry, is work with that family, and that's what we've mainly learned.